us again, brought in by our musical director, Rich Shalanda.
Hello.
Of Flying Dreams.
That's right. Welcome to the Health and Wellness Hour. I am Danny Coleman.
I am Maryann Castello.
Engineer Art is here once again at coaradio.com.
Good morning.
That's it. Can he hear us with the headphones on?
I can.
Darn it.
Okay.
I'm assuming
Can't talk about him.
A heck of a lip reader.
He could hear everything.
We are here again to discuss health, wellness, music.
There you go.
Whoa, I didn't know you could play flamenco style.
Next time I'm getting him a hat.
Settle down over there, Esteban. He needs to come in like the Three Amigos.
Yes, he does.
Would you say I have a plethora? No, sorry.
Oh,
You
not
wanna
that
introduce
again.
our guest?
Yes, I do. I'm
love
so
that.
excited to have our special guest tonight on a special night because normally we're the last Wednesday of the month. And this time we are the third Wednesday of the month on a special night.
Are we staying here, Art? Are we
Yes,
staying on
we
the third
are.
Wednesday?
Are we what?
Yes, we are.
I couldn't hear you now.
Thought you could hear me on the headphones.
Wow.
Oh, it's going to be that
I was
way.
listening to us live.
Also, make sure it's
Okay.
not-
Oh, good.
No, we are switching it to the third Wednesday
of the
of
month.
every month for the Health and Wellness
Well, there
Hour.
you go. Here's the first show, the initial show. And that's all for our guest.
Our special guest that we have tonight is a best-selling author. We're going to discuss her career as an attorney, as a social worker, and you're a foster parent and adoptive parent as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Theresa Lyons.
Well, thank you. I have to say that music makes me want to go to Barcelona.
Two best-selling authors in the same room.
I know. And they're
That's-
both women.
I know.
Powerful women, man.
Nice.
Watch out.
So I get powerful women. So I guess that eliminates like Jello wrestling to see who the ultimate best-selling author is.
Yeah. Maybe we throw you in the ring, too.
Yes, yeah, that's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yes,
Yeah, take you down.
You will
She's
be
quick.
pinned.
Look how happy Danny is now. Look,
Look, see, I'm
Let
smiling
me ask,
now.
what flavor Jello are we
Oh, here we
contemplating
go.
with?
Here we go.
Green, because you'll be
Green.
green with envy
I'll
when
be-
it dyes your
That's
skin.
Okay,
Correct.
I think I could do green Jello. That's fair.
Boy, this degenerated quick, didn't it, Rich?
Have you ever Jello wrestled?
Yes.
Listen.
And I love every second of that.
I'm a divorce attorney. 50% of the world hates me. So if it's degenerated quickly, my condolences early.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you
See,
for the
that's how it
invitation. This
is.
will be the first and last time you invite me. But thank you.
Wow. It's okay. I'm already divorced, so I don't need your services.
My industry thanks you.
Yeah, so's my ex-wife.
I had jury duty yesterday, so.
My book speaks about jury duty, by the way.
You will.
My book speaks about it, yes.
Yeah, tell us about your book.
So my book is called Sticks and Stones, Life Lessons from a Lawyer, as I was introduced. So thank you again for having me, both of you. Besides being a lawyer, I have a master's degree in social work, and that is really crazy making. I think that lawyers think too much and social workers feel too much, and when you have those all crammed into the same brain space, it really makes a muck of it. And as we all know, lots of interesting things often come out of muck. So what the book does is it takes life lessons we've been taught our entire life and pairs them with various legal stories and turns them on their head. So for example, the first chapter, we've all been taught our entire life, sticks and stones may break my bones, but
Names will never hurt me.
never
Oh,
hurt
wow.
me. Very
I had
good.
a different version, sorry.
But there you go. But names will never hurt me.
I had to wait a second.
Yeah, exactly. But the first chapter is about the New Jersey family that named their children Adolf Hitler, Heinz Himmler, and Aryan Nation. And it goes on.
true?
True story. And it talks about the family. And I can give you more details about that and how it came to light with the press and everything else. And it talks about that family. It talks about the scenario. And, the chapter ends with, but sometimes names can hurt me.
Yes.
And so what it does is it takes life lessons that we've been taught our entire life that you think hold true, and then says, well, wait a minute. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. let's think about this, let's laugh about this, let's cry about this. People that have read this book, it's done very well with book clubs. It has all kinds of interesting stories. I've had people call me and email me and say, I picked it up, I read a particular chapter, I had to walk away from it, I was so disturbed, and I couldn't look at it anymore. I've had people say, I read something, I laughed so hard I cried. It's a lot of interesting, kooky things in there, but there is something in there. I talk about jury duty at one point, but yes. So that's my book. That's the long explanation of my book.
So what inspired you to do, I know that you explained what it's about, but did you just sit there at your desk one day or in a courtroom one day and say, I have to write about this? Or how did that happen?
So I do tend to look at the world in a very different way, again, because of this muck that runs around in my head. And we also do a lot of writing, a lot of blogging at my company. And so I was in court one day and I saw something unfold before me. And I said, that's a different take on blah, 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 the lesson we've always been taught. And I said, that's weird. So I went back to my office, I just jotted it down, and I started just randomly collecting these things. And I didn't intend to write a book, and then I happened to be out to a meal with someone that I knew from a prior life, and my office manager said, you should send this publisher, these little stories. We sent them in, and very rapidly the publisher picked it up. I have to give a shout out to, Turn the Page Publishing. They're excellent. And the rest is history, but I did not begin collecting these stories with the thought of writing a book. I just started writing these things down because they seemed intriguing to me.
Very good.
Nice. Good.
You were inspired.
Inspired, if that's the word, okay. That was something.
Yeah.
Okay, now before we went on the air, you were throwing out some numbers as far as addiction and things of that nature. But you also mentioned at the top of the program you're a matrimonial attorney.
Yes.
So, and obviously by some of the numbers there's a direct correlation between the two.
Yes.
Divorce and so on and so forth.
Correct.
Is it the reason why you have the work because of the addiction, or is it post-addiction?
So, like any question, and like any lawyer that likes to find any loophole that he or she can, I have to give that two-word answer, it depends. So let me first talk to you. You describe me as a matrimonial and family lawyer. What you should understand is that, for good or for bad, the American family is changing. According to the United States Census Bureau, only 48% of children under the age of 18 are currently living in what one would consider to be a traditional two-parent home. That means mom, dad, never divorced. That means there's more single parents, more blended families, more same-sex couples, more grandparents, tri-parenting, all kinds of things. And so when you say I'm a divorce lawyer, you should be aware that because our practice, the firm that I'm the managing partner of, our practice reflects the changes that have happened in the American families, only half of what we do is divorces. So right off the bat, you should know that. For example, we argued a case before the state Supreme Court on grandparent visitation rights. What rights does a grandparent have to visit children? If the parents say no, who gets to win that? So first I need to premise what we do. Now to answer your question. So when it comes to divorce, there is no doubt that we see a great deal of marriages that are broken by addiction. Stats show that couples in which one of the parties is suffering from some level of addiction have a divorce rate that is 4 times that of a marriage that does not have one spouse that is suffering from addiction. So if you know someone that's struggling with addiction and they're in a marriage, very candidly, that marriage needs support because it is a 400% likelihood of falling into divorce. And why is that? It's not just the use of the drugs or the alcohol. It's all of the corollary things that come with it. It's the underachievement in employment, which then leads to economic strife and stress on the family. It's the inability to completely be present in parenting. which puts stress on the marriage. It is an increase in the rate of domestic violence, which puts a stress on the marriage. So to answer that with respect to addiction does feed my industry as a divorce attorney, I would be lying if I said otherwise. Regarding other aspects of our practice, we also, for example, we do domestic violence. We work with child protective system across the state of New Jersey today. According to the National Institute of Health, 61% of the infants that are removed from their parents at birth and placed into foster care, it's because one of the parents is engaged in some type of alcohol or drug use.
It's a high statistic.
It's a high statistic. For older children, it's as low as 30%. But I would not have a job working in the child protective system but for addiction. I'm a foster and adoptive parent myself. We've had a number of children in our home. Some have stayed, some have been reunified. There's no doubt that addiction permeates so many of our families. Even according to the CDC, 12% of children under the age of 18 in the United States, 12% of children under the age of 18 live in a home where one of their parents is suffering from some level of addiction. Now, there's functioning addicts, there's non-functioning addicts. That means, I encourage each of you and I encourage our listeners, next time you're at a Little League game and you see a team of 10 kids, realize one of them has a parent at home that's suffering from addiction, at least one, right? And if that's what's being reported by the CDC, it's probably higher than that. Next time you go to a PTA meeting, or you're at a school play, or you're at some little kindergarten concert, and you see 20 kids up there, realize 2 to 3 of them are going home with a parent that suffers from some level of addiction. So it permeates everything.
Wow, that's really something. Wow.
It permeates everything.
And my experience, I have to share this to you. You wonder, out of the 10 kids that are on that Little League team and that one parent, is that parent seeking help for their addiction?
Well, there's a number of things. First you have to determine, candidly, what is help. And again, we talk about there's a level of functionality with various addictions. How does one define help? Are they seeking help from loved ones? Are they seeking help from faith communities? Are they seeking help from treatment facilities? I think that the other thing that I've learned doing what I do, it's very difficult for anyone to receive help for anything, whether it's addiction, whether it's a weight loss, whether it's I need to learn how to read. Most humans, we find ourselves not ready for any type of self-improvement and not able to look for that help until we've become so uncomfortable not knowing it, right? If I'm an adult and I don't know how to read, it might not be till I really can't read a street sign and I get lost that I sit down and I say, now it's time. So part of that seeking help is have they reached such a state of discontent that they're ready to seek help. Right. So
better known as rock bottom.
Better known as rock bottom. In Mercer County, I before the show I was talking to you guys. There's a new law that was passed in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey now has the strictest law when it comes to opioid prescriptions and also for insurance coverage for addiction. You guys should be aware of that. Be very proud of the state of New Jersey. But the predecessor to that, however, was that the state of New Jersey itself put out a report, the Substance Abuse Overview, and it's an annual report that was put out by the New Jersey Department of Human Services, specifically Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services, and it gives here statistics of how many adults there are in every county in the state of New Jersey, how many of those adults are struggling with addiction, and what percentage of those that are struggling are actually getting the help that they need. So, Maryann, you said to me, well, how many of those are getting the help?
Right.
Some of them may not be seeking it. Some of them may be seeking it and just can't get it. So, for example, we're in Mercer County, and I can tell you in 2016, there were approximately 3,900 adults in Mercer County that required some level of alcohol or substance abuse treatment. However, medical facilities were only able to meet the needs of about 2,300 of those people. That means there were about 1,600 people in Mercer County who are struggling, grappling with some level of addiction and have not had their needs met as of 2016.
That's a reported number.
That's a reported
Right,
number.
so we don't know how many are not.
Actually, if you were to
reported.
take every addicted person in the state of New Jersey and put them in one city, it would be the fourth largest city in the state of New Jersey.
So
Wow.
yeah, even according to the statistic in this chart, you know, these stats from, and again, these stats again are from the New Jersey Department of Human Services, and they do this in correlation with the United States Census Bureau and the American Community 5-Year Survey. And they found that just in 2016 alone, there were over 90,000, almost 91,000 New Jersey adults. This is only adults, by the way. This doesn't talk about juveniles. We all know there's a problem with juveniles. There are about 91,000 adults in the state of New Jersey just in the year of 2016 that struggled with some level of substance abuse need. Now, so those 91,000 people, they have a 4 times likelihood of getting divorced, right? Again,
Right.
sad, but hooray for my industry.
These are huge numbers. Big numbers.
Big numbers.
And unfortunately, it's growing in New Jersey. And just before we came on the show, I was telling you today, on the news feeds that came across today, there was a big arrest made for a doctor who was prescribing illegally opiates. And what he was doing was he was writing prescriptions to 2 or 3 people, and there is a program in New Jersey, apparently, that watches pharmaceutical drugs and when they're filled. And what happened was he was changing the birth dates of the people on the prescription. So I guess in the computer they couldn't see it. Well, they finally caught up with it, and today there was 17, he was the 17th doctor, 16 arrests have been made, and that was in South Jersey, Egg Harbor Township was what was listed.
It's down by Atlantic City.
Yes, and one of them was from Atlantic City as well. So they did break that up today.
Well, here's what's really interesting. First of all, in 2012, the CDC determined that there were 252 million prescriptions written in the United States for opioids from medical doctors. It's enough for every single adult American to have 1 bottle all to him or herself. And that, again, was part of the precipice. The New Jersey law that was just passed, which had over 20 co-sponsors from various senators and assemblymen across our state. Now, doctors, there are some circumstances where you can prescribe more, but generally now, for most typical pain and injuries, doctors in the state of New Jersey now are permitted only to prescribe 5 pills at a time. So you go in there with a broken arm, you go in there with a slip disc, you go in there with something, you are only permitted to get 5 pills at a time.
That's on the first initial visit.
That's on the initial
Yes.
visit. Now, there are exceptions for cancer treatment. Of course, there are some exceptions for some other pre-existing conditions. But again, doing what I do, I can't tell you how many long-term marriages I've seen where people were otherwise happy and functional. And, you know, the husband gets in a motorcycle accident, gets his first prescription of pills, becomes addicted, and the whole family falls apart. Or the wife slips and falls at work.
Or one of the children. I
Or one
see
of the
this happen
children,
all
right.
the time, and they don't see eye to eye. I see moms that come to the meetings seeking help. You don't see so much of the dads, you know.
If,
But this starts innocently, then it can
Right.
start in, you know.
Right, it can start innocently. And by the way, we are taught as children and as adults, listen to your doctor. Do what your doctor tells you. Take your pills as prescribed. So if I'm given a 30-day prescription, right, so, and I'm not blaming doctors here because look, there's all kinds of reasons for this.
Blame the dentists.
actually,
I always blame dentists.
there are a ton of dentists who have lost their practices or their licenses because they themselves are addicted to prescription
Yes.
drugs.
Wow.
Well, they
You
actually
know,
say, too, one of the highest suicide rates are from dentists and any of the medical professions as well.
But see,
If,
that's how a lot of this has started, though. I mean, you bring your
hold that
14-year-old.
thought for 1 second. I got to tell everybody who we are.
Yes, who are you? I've been in this conversation, forgive me. Who
If
are
you're just tuning in, this is the Health and Wellness Hour. I am Danny Coleman and
Maryann Castello.
Maryann Castello. Our guest tonight is attorney Theresa Lyons and best-selling author of Sticks and Stones. And if you want to give us a call, it's 609-241-7103. Engineer Art will gladly put you on the air. We have Richie Shalando with us. Esteban, our in-studio Esteban, music director.
You have Esteban. You have to put like
Esteban.
the accent on the last Esteban.
The Bon.
That's right.
There you go.
And we have...
That's QVC guy, right?
yeah, that's the QVC guy. Yeah.
I kind of feel like
Kind of looks like he's mixed up between, like, a flamenco guitarist and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I get it. No,
And we have a studio audience of Jay.
So am I. sometimes.
Jay is here. Yay. So
Thank you, Jay.
we will 609-241-7103 if you want to call in and have questions for any of us or comments. We're going to give away a book, too, huh?
Yes, we are. Terry's kind enough that when you call in, you can get a copy of her best-selling book, Sticks and Stones, Life Lessons from a Lawyer, right? Did I have that
that's
right?
what it's called. Sticks and Stones, Life Lessons from a Lawyer. Yep.
And with that, we'll also
Great
give
title.
you an extreme chakra cleansing for a supercharged life. So this way, after you read her book of Sticks and Stones lessons, you can clean those dirty chakras.
That's fair. I have to give a little warning. There are some potty words in the book, and part of that's done for literary shock value, very candidly. So there you go. People be warned.
There's her disclaimer. That's good.
Makes you want to read the book.
Yes,
There's some
it
potty
does.
mouths in there. Yeah. There's some potty mouths. So.
Nice.
I won't use any because I don't want you guys getting any. I don't want the what's it called? The FTC coming after you guys. What's it called? No.
With that.
Actually, they don't govern internet radio, huh?
They do not.
So that's-
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Actually, I'm sorry. We're since we're going with this train, might as well go. I don't know if you guys saw last week there was a decision from the United States Supreme Court that now says that certain obscenities can be trademarked and certain obscene graphics and
Wow.
things can now be trademarked like other things. So if you really wanted to go down that road, you could. I don't know that would be appropriate for this radio show. Just a little
Shock jock.
piece of wisdom. There you go.
I'm actually going through this battle right now.
He is.
I do not. I run a clean show.
He has.
Maryann and I run a clean show.
You have a disclaimer sometimes to you
I
read
tell
to your
my
guests.
guests I will not discuss religion, politics, and I do not use foul language.
Well, there you go.
For me,
To show your mother can listen to.
right.
In public.
Tuesday nights, they air my program here. My program is called Rock on Radio. It's done Sunday nights live. Art is kind enough to re-air it here on City of Angels Radio on Tuesdays. But I have a show that your children can listen to. However, that being said, I also have a YouTube program, and I've been under pressure of sorts lately to get a little more foul, to get a little more risque, to be more, be you, just be you. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not foul or risque. It's not like I walk up to you and, do you ever hear me throw out foul language in front of women?
No, I just hear the whistle like the construction workers. Just
This is a
kidding.
very honest
I'm
show.
just kidding.
This is an honest show, right?
Well, let me say this. I'm not encouraging you to begin using foul language this evening, but you should know, being a divorce and matrimonial attorney, there is nothing you could say
To offend you.
that I probably haven't heard 3 times
Oh, I'm sure.
and probably said 3 times myself.
Yes.
I get that.
My children remind me regularly of my obscenities.
One of the things is that I kind of find humorous is that Maryann and I are doing this health and wellness hour, and she's, the the proprietor of Neo Zoe and Health and Wellness Center, and you've got all holistic and dietary and medical massage and so on and so forth. And,
Right.
you've got all the health and wellness going on. Then there's me.
But we discuss lifestyle changes, and that's where you come in. Just
Me,
saying.
Wait, may I chime in at the risk of offending Maryann here?
Please do.
So if you would like to, would you like to hear my theory on health and wellness? Again, Art, I'm never going to be invited back again. So I might as well get on my place.
You're now part of the show. You got to come here every third Wednesday.
Would you like to hear my theory on,
Yes.
you eat right, and you exercise, and you die anyway.
Correct.
Yes.
So I have never met a donut I haven't liked. I'm a big fan of moderation. Well, I think what's that phrase? Everything in moderation, including moderation. So, I eat ice cream for breakfast. It's delicious.
Good.
And
You said ice cream.
I suddenly like you.
Me
even
too.
more.
I do too.
ice cream, come on.
I gave my
you know
kids
what?
ice cream for dinner.
What's
They
your
look at
favorite
me like
flavor of
I
ice
was
cream? Yeah, right.
chocolate chip mint with either hot fudge or extra chocolate
Maryann.
chip.
That's me. Do you know that?
There you go, chocolate chip mint. Yeah, although I do like a good chocolate shake, but it has to be extra thick, extra chocolatey.
See, I'm chocolate peanut butter. I like chocolate.
Black raspberry with chocolate chips.
Really?
But they actually have the chocolate
Yeah.
chips.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, and for breakfast and for too late night sometimes, but
Well,
Yeah, but I like Richie. I'm a rock musician. I
great drummer.
all kinds of screwy hours. Well, thank you, Rich.
You're welcome.
I keep all kinds of screwy hours. I sometimes eat poorly. I try not to. I drink. I smoke.
me too.
There you
well, as
go.
a divorce attorney, I really shouldn't say this. We're talking about addiction. I live on alcohol, red meat, and caffeine. I mean, that's what divorce lawyers live on. But again, in moderation. Everything has to be in moderation.
I will say that, but you know what? And even though I do lifestyle changes
Let
and
me
all,
clarify. I smoke cigars.
Me too.
I don't smoke cigarettes.
You're my new best friend.
see?
If my children are listening, I do not smoke cigars.
But what I was going to say is everything's in moderation. Oh, wow. Look at this.
It's
What
all
do we got
yours.
this? So I'm going on a trip to Cuba in
Courtesy
December.
of the Health and Wellness
Cubana. Yeah, on the Health and Wellness Radio, we're passing
It's-
cigars.
That's yours. I brought that for you.
Because
Thank
part
you.
of
Really
wellness
nice.
is lifestyle.
That's a great moment. Look at that
And-
moment.
Thank you. Look at the moment. Thank you.
It
Yes.
is, because what I'm about
Thank
to
you,
say
my
is that
friends.
even though I do health and wellness, part of wellness is looking at people's lifestyle. And if people, what I see, if they keep themselves extremely regimented, like I have to have breakfast at this hour, I have to have lunch at this hour, and it has to be this, and that. You know what?
They die of a heart attack.
The scary part and statistics show, those are the people that are out jogging every morning and all of that. But this thing where you can't eat past 8 o'clock at night is really what I've recently learned is actually kind of a wise tale, because if you are a person, you know how people change their shifts now, and probably you preparing for something, you're up all night doing
Yeah, if I'm
something.
up all night, I'm eating at 8, 10, midnight. I
Well,
don't
that's
care.
what I'm
yeah.
saying too. So it's really changed that theory from 8 o'clock, look at your activity level. But if you're an ice cream lover like Richie, and he has confessed to that as well, is that there's nothing wrong with having something in moderation. You deprive yourself, and then it could lead to other things. So by all means, moderation.
My doctor said that to
That's
me
key.
when it was discovered through heredity that I had high blood pressure and high cholesterol. He said to me, look, I'm not going to tell you to change your diet. He says, but what I want you to do is just do everything in moderation.
That's the word.
He says, you know what?
So does that include doctor visits with you, Doc?
That's right. Does that include my copay?
Yeah, exactly. Is that right? I'm sorry, that's your story.
Actually, that's what I
made funny.
That's
you
what
did
I
good.
got. That's what I got from my divorce. See, my ex-wife got everything else. I got high blood pressure.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, have you heard the old joke, why is divorce so expensive? Because it's worth it. There you go.
True. Or the other one? Why don't cannibals eat divorced people?
Why don't cannibals eat divorced people? I have not heard this joke.
Really?
I need to hear it.
Because they're always bitter.
All right, wait. Since we're in a church, this is. Am I correct? This is a faith community that we're in.
I don't know, Art, this is church. What goes on here besides church
It's
stuff?
a building next door to church. Does that count?
Actually, this is the school, the church
Okay.
is that.
So I'm going to tell a divorce story. It's a very clean story, but it happens to involve an elderly Jewish couple that they were married for 50 years, and they decided to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. They decided to make a trip to the Holy Land. So this elderly Jewish couple made a trip to the Holy Land.
Boca Raton?
And no, they were in Israel.
Oh,
They were
okay.
at the Holy Land, that's right. And very sadly, while they were there, the husband dropped dead suddenly. And the wife was meeting with the rabbi, and the rabbi said to the wife, "Listen, ma'am, my daughter, you can bury your husband here in the Holy Land for a cost of $2,000, or you can ship your husband back to the United States for a cost of $50,000. Without a heartbeat, the wife says, "Send him back to the U.S." And the rabbi says, "No, I don't think you understand, my child. You can bury your husband right here in the Holy Land for a cost of only $2,000. And she said, "Rabbi, I know what I'm doing." The rabbi said, "Well, if you don't mind, my child, can you tell me why?" And she said, "Well, I heard a couple thousand years ago they buried another man in these parts and he came back to life. I just can't take that chance." There you go.
Very good.
That's my joke for the day.
There you go, see? Perfect.
Perfect.
If you're just tuning in, it's the Health and Wellness Hour. I'm Danny Coleman.
I'm Maryann Castello.
Oh, there's Engineer Art. Somebody calling us, Art?
To make sure the phone was working.
Nobody wants to talk to me, it's okay.
609-241-7103. Our guest is Theresa Lyons, best-selling author of Sticks and Stones, as well as
An attorney with Lyons and Associates, and you are in Somerville, New Jersey, correct?
We're in Somerville. We're a multiple attorney firm with recent attorney we just hired. We'll be up to 7 lawyers in September, and we are all over the state of New Jersey,
good for you.
litigating all kinds of cases on behalf of...
You said you argued a case in front of the Supreme Court. Was that in Trenton?
Yes, that was the New Jersey Supreme Court. We've been involved in 2 cases up there. One involved grandparent visitation
I get the
rights.
shakes. I used to deliver that building as a UPS guy. I can't.
I was fortunate enough to have clerked up there as well, and
Oh, yeah, for what job?
Justice Peter Venero, he writes the rules of court, and he was the Attorney General that defended Megan's Law in front of the Third Circuit. And so I was very fortunate. It was a tremendous opportunity, young in my career, very brilliant justice, who's now very involved, even continues to be involved.
I remember him.
Yeah, but the second case that we had up there, we did an amicus brief. Very interesting case. It was involving domestic violence. And I will only give you the facts that were publicly known because, again, there's reasons of confidentiality. So there was a woman who came here from, I believe it was India, and in an arranged marriage, and she came here and she had an arranged marriage in the state of Illinois. She very soon became the subject of tremendous domestic violence. She jumped out of her second-floor apartment window, ran on the street, borrowed money from somebody and got a one-way bus ticket to New Jersey because she had like a friend of a third cousin or something that was here in the state of New Jersey. She found help from a domestic violence organization, and she obtained a temporary restraining order here in the state of New Jersey. The question of law was, can a victim of domestic violence get a restraining order here in the state of New Jersey when the defendant has never stepped foot in this state, when the alleged act of domestic violence never occurred in this state? How do you do that? So it went all the way up to the state Supreme Court. My firm, we were retained on behalf of an organization called Partners for Women in Justice. We did an amicus brief, and we surveyed the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act statute for all 50 states and the District of Columbia, and we made recommendations to the Supreme Court as to how we thought it should come down, balancing the interest of the need to protect victims versus the need of due process of defendants who have never been in this state. So that was the other case. We were up there. And then the grandparent visitation case was just this past year.
Right.
A new statute defining the rights of who wins that when you have grandparents fighting parents over who gets to see kids. So that also very interesting.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in that building. lot of time. That actually contributed, that building, believe it or not, actually contributed
So your high blood pressure?
to my divorce. And high blood pressure, yeah. Because there were times I would get there and I would be in that building for 2 or 3 hours, thinking I'm getting done work at 6 o'clock at night, not getting home till 8:30, you know?
Just all the residual stuff?
Yeah, it was just, I was the pickup and delivery driver, and I would go there at night, and sometimes, out next to one of those UPS letter centers, there would be stuff stacked.
Yeah.
It would take me 10 trips to the trunk.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, when I was, I can tell you a couple things. First of all, the New Jersey Supreme Court is it's looked at as one of the top 5 state Supreme Courts in the land. It's the place where it's been a trendsetter in so many areas, including, fair housing, contributions for school funding, all kinds of stuff.
The senatorial decision with Torricelli and
correct. So the New Jersey Supreme Court is really looked to by other jurisdictions. New Jersey also, by its nature, is a very litigious state, simply because we have so many corporations and businesses here. Businesses have the right to file lawsuits. There's over 7 million lawsuits filed a year in the state of New Jersey. Now, the vast majority of them are at the municipal level and the lower state level, but a lot of law gets made and hashed out in the state of New Jersey, so it doesn't surprise me that you work so hard. One of the other things that my book talks about is people forget that our justice system is not just the lawyers and the judges. It's the secretaries, it's the court reporters, it's the couriers, it's the people that clean the courthouse, it's the sheriff's officers. And we forget that our courts and our legal system really is of the people, by the people, which is amazing, overwhelming, and tremendous. It's one of the only systems in the world that works that way. So thank you for what you did to help the justice system when you did it. I mean that very sincerely and candidly. That law could not be made. People's lives could not be put in order without everyone that does their share, including you. So thank you. I appreciate that.
This is, thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's nice.
I actually, one of the most traumatic experiences I ever had in my life was backing into the criminal justice division on the west side of that building. I had just come off the elevators and I turned left and I was backing into the doors, getting a little behind in my work, as they say, as I got this hand truck full of stuff, right? And all of a sudden, I see this thing just go past me. And the guy was standing there next to me holding the door, and he says, "Was that?" I put the hand truck down, I went to the railing, thump, just in time to see a guy had jumped to his death.
Oh my God.
From the top of the building?
From the 7th.
From the
inside. From the 7th floor. He came out of tax court and things did not go well.
And he just jumped off.
And just threw himself over the side of the atrium. And that was an image I still can't get out of my mind to this day. But to the state's credit, they were very, very good. They offered me like counseling and, look, I'm fine. It's not like I close my eyes and see this guy when I go to bed, but it brought to mind when you just said that, the justice system doesn't always turn out for everybody the way everybody wants, or it wouldn't be justice, I suppose.
So, it's interesting in the book, I talk about what it means to be a true professional. And the book is broken into 3 different sections. There's life lessons for everybody, life lessons, for lawyers, and it talks about what it means to be a professional. And I talk about how Webster's dictionary has a definition for what a professional is. Actually, I might go to the book and read that to you because it's kind of important what I talk about, what it means to be a professional. And let's see if I can find it here. The Webster's defines a true professional as someone who has undergone and received a specific training to undertake a certain task. I proffer that instead, the true definition of a professional is someone who keeps doing what they do, even when it sucks. And I say, think of the teacher who cannot save the student, or the surgeon who has a a patient die on the table, or a lawyer who loses a criminal case that they know that their client was innocent and they see them go to death row. And what I say is that every professional at some point will meet that moment of crisis. We all do. And again, we're in a faith community. The pastor that cannot save someone. When we as professionals meet that crisis, three things happen. First, there's an immediate sense of shock and sadness, like this can't be happening. Well, this can't be happening, right? Then there's a period of questioning. Did I do something wrong? Could I have done something different? Again, because the professional is trained to fix it. And then the third thing that every professional must do is either, then there's a fork in the road. Some professionals leave the profession. They either quit altogether, or they keep in their job, but they leave by way of apathy and just showing up and going through the motions, right? But the true professional resigns him or herself to keep going on anyway, even though he or she will fail,
Right.
even though it will suck, even though I will not win and I cannot save everyone. To me, that is the true definition of a professional. And, you know, as a baby lawyer, when I had to learn that I could not save every client, I could not win every case, sometimes the justice system gets it wrong, dead wrong. And people die, children are murdered, dead wrong. What do you do at that moment? Do you become apathetic, or do you resign yourself to continue to start anew? So that story, while very sad and certainly disturbing, in a way is a moment of opportunity for you to make that determination.
Well, I mean, I still had a job, but you want to know the odd part about that? 2 days later, I'm driving my truck around the corner, and just as all the police cars, and I got to stop because the cop cars are, police are pulling up, ambulances, and they go running, and they won't let me down the street. Now, New Jersey used to have a television called the NJN network, television station.
Right.
At night, I would pick their outgoing packages up. It was also the back of the motor vehicle building. Such a lovely place motor vehicle was back in them days.
It's a lovely place now, yes.
Yeah, right? And 3 days after the guy threw himself off the interior 7th floor of the Justice Complex, another guy jumped off the roof. They were just surrounded. I'm wondering why this guy's laying on the concrete. And quickly, one of the police ran to their car, got a blanket, and threw it over the guy. He was dead. I'm thinking, this is twice in a week. People jumped.
From the Justice Complex. Well, listen, we're in Mercer County.
Well,
We are
one
not
was
giving-
justice, one
I know,
was
but
motor vehicle,
We're
so.
not giving anybody any ideas, in all
Right.
seriousness. But no, suicide is a horrible issue as well.
And that
impacts all kinds of
And that
family
comes
law
with
issues as
addiction,
well.
too. Sometimes you're just not.
Comes with addiction. And it also impacts, here's the other thing that, when there is a suicide in a family, it disrupts so many things. It disrupts, disrupts spouses, it disrupts birth orders, and who was older, who was younger, all that kind of stuff. And in families where there's an unexpected death like that, there is a higher rate of families then falling apart because of that as well. So a lot of misery in this world. Again, unfortunately, it helps my industry. As an attorney, what we try to do in light of that is just meet our clients where we find them, try to be compassionate, try to only be a semi-jerk. I say semi-jerk because every lawyer I know is a jerk at our core. So I would be lying if I didn't say we were a little bit of a jerk, so we try to only be semi-jerks. And, do the best we can to meet our clients where they are in their journey.
I'm loving your answer about the professional, too. That's a great description of what that is, because you actually have to love what you do as well. It has to be who you are.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, you couldn't do it in the face of failure. If you didn't love music, you couldn't do it in the face of failure. If I didn't love, if I didn't love the law, I mean, as broken as our system is, business deals get done. People can buy and sell houses. Think about this. You think about the Boston Marathon and the guy that bombed, was accused of that. That person was entitled to due process. He was given a lawyer to stand next to him.
Yep.
And it is the crown jewel of the planet. And so as messed up as our system is, it's the best we got, and you have to love it. And so
I used to deliver a high-profile defense attorney who was across the street from the Mercer County Courthouse.
Yeah.
And the police absolutely had nothing but utter disdain.
Correct.
And she would tell me, I know these guys are guilty, but they're entitled to due process. Somebody's got to defend them. Why
Due
not me?
process. Well, and there's also, it's funny, when you drive to Philly, so Mercer County, there's a big billboard. I forget the name of the lawyer, but he has a sign that says, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. And at first you're like, ha, 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 that's really sleazy. But the reality is, the state has an obligation before any person can be thrown in jail, before your property can be taken away. The state has an obligation to prove certain things. And if the state can't meet its burden, you know what? I'd always rather err on the side of a person than the state. And you talk about making enemies. My firm is no friend of DIFUS, now seen as DCPP, and every time we litigate against them and we get a kid back, you would think as a foster parent that I hate, biological parents. No, we represent a lot of biological parents, and we are always going toe-to-toe with DCPP. We beat them up at the trial level, the appellate division, and get them reversed, beat them up. Sanctions, you name it, we've gotten it against the Child Protective Services in the state of New Jersey, and they hate us. My position is, state, you have a job to do. And these people, whatever their troubles are, they are parents. And they are entitled to due process. You might not like them, you might think it's yucky, but our society, our value as humans is defined on how we treat the worst of the worst.
Right.
And so I'm proud to be part of that system.
Yes.
I'm proud to be a lawyer. I'm proud to be an entrepreneur. I'm proud to be a female entrepreneur. I'm
Yep.
creating jobs. We're making noise. And I'm proud to be here tonight.
Yep.
Thank you for being. We're happy to have you.
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah, you're pretty terrific.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
We've only got about 15 minutes or so left there, Art.
Correct.
With our guest tonight, Theresa Lyons. Did we want to do something with Rich?
Yes, we did.
Play music?
I'll play a quick
Yes.
one. Yeah, just to...
Let's hear it.
Because he's a professional.
Now, if you should,
Professional.
that's right. If you should call in,
Don't try this at home.
The number is 609-241-7103. Art will answer and put you on hold, right, Art? During that time. So don't just hang up if he doesn't get to it right away. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, shall I play?
Yeah,
Let's
why
hear
not?
it.
It's all for you.
One from the record called Two Hearts Touch.
Put me under pressure.
Inside out, outside in, two hearts touch, love beats. Inside out, words so true. if she's so alive. Her kisses taste like ruby wine. I lift my hands to the sky. The light returns to my eyes.
Thank you for tapping.
Inside out, outside in, two hearts touch, love beating. Inside out, words so true. From the inside out, honey, I fell in love with you.
Yeah, it's Rich Shalanda, Flying Dreams.
That's fun.
Two Hearts
Thank you.
Touch. And you can find his album worldwide on digital media distributions, Amazon.com, iTunes, and any digital media outlet.
And where do we find your book, Terry?
My book, it's on Amazon. It's also, you can find it on my webpage. It's on Kindle. Apparently, it's doing well enough that Amazon put it on Kindle. Go figure. Go to Amazon, Sticks and Stones, Life Lessons from a Lawyer. Go to my company webpage, www.lyonspc.com. Not only can you get a book there, one thing we didn't talk about, my app. My firm has a free app for the smartphone, which has actually done a lot to save a lot of people, a lot of aggravation and other questions. So we have a free app for the smartphone that you also can get from our website. You don't have to be our client to use it. It's
What's the name of the app?
It's just, I think it's called Lyons and Associates. It might even, but it's basically, it does a number of things. If you have any family law issues, so it has a free pocket child support calculator. So that's fine. But it also has something what a lot of people consider sexy. It's gotten a lot of play in the press. Is it has a panic button to report domestic abuse.
Wow.
And if you hit domestic violence at the touch of a button, you can be connected to every single domestic violence shelter across the entire state of New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
If you hit child abuse, you can either instantly be connected with DIFUS, now called DCPP, or you can get information about how and when to report. Like if you see something and you're not sure, it has a note tracking function that you can instantly send. Let's say that you're doing something and you stumble upon a document or something and you know you can't have time to make a copy. There's a function that permits you to take a picture and it's instantly sent to your lawyer before anybody knows anything. And it's free. Anybody can use it. A number of law enforcement and mental health professionals have downloaded it. So if you go to my webpage,
Amazing.
LyonsPC, LYONSPC.com, get the free app. The book, I think there's a link there, but you can buy it on Amazon, buy it on Kindle, a bunch of other places have it. I don't know, just buy the book. Or not, that's okay too. Yeah.
I will. I
Buy
want
the book,
one.
there you go.
You're doing
I will
amazing
buy one.
things.
Tonight.
And then I also want to talk about an amazing thing here, as I'm always going to keep talking about. City of Angels donates 100% of all its proceeds to assisting families, including scholarships, medical assistance, housing assistance, educational programs, and community awareness. And everyone who works for City of Angels donates all of their time because 100% of those proceeds go to all of the
Including
families.
Art right here.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Art. for
Yes.
everything.
That's amazing.
So they're having their biggest fundraiser of the year. It's the Walk Run of the Angels 2017. It is Saturday, September 9th. You can get information by going directly to the website of www.lyons.org. www.walkwiththeangels.com. It will be on September 9th, Saturday, in Mercer County Park, West Picnic Grove in West Windsor, New Jersey. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a vendor or even participating in the race, please go to walkwiththeangels.com for all information. And as a nice little surprise, we are going to have meet and greets with the Health and Wellness Show right here with your host, Danny Coleman.
Wow.
Myself, Maryann Castello.
Wow.
We will be having our books, DVDs, and headlining entertainment, our musical director, Rich Shalanda, and Flying Dreams.
My band will be there, yeah.
Yep, including members of the band, bassist Ron Beanstalk. We also have Kendall Scott on keys and Jay Dynamo on drums.
Yeah.
We'll be playing live at the event for City of Angels. And again, that's the Walk Run 5K with the Angels, Saturday, September 9th.
Now, for those of you who if you listen to this program with any kind of regularity, you will know that who Rich Shalanda is, but Rich is an international touring musician who has toured with Fire Ballet, Nectar, Renaissance. You know,
What a man.
Yes.
you have played on stages in front of 20,000 or more people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Done so. I've seen it.
You
I
have.
haven't even tried to lie
We
about
were
it.
there,
I've seen it.
And now he's on to his own new project, Flying Dreams.
Yes.
There's that
Yes.
post office pick that we always talked about and joked about right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But also, he has other talents because on Extreme Shopper Cleansing for Supercharged Life, Rich Shalanda actually provided all the musical compositions.
I
And
did.
we worked very well together, wrote all the scripts and
Do you know
performed
that
it.
with every chakra, there's a color and there is a musical key?
Yes, there is.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a food?
There can be now.
The heart chakra, being green, matches your mint chip ice cream.
You know, that's what
And the green cello we talked about, too.
you know, that's funny. I love it. You know, there should be a
Full
food.
circle.
There should
And
be
what's even more amazing,
Oh, Maryann, who did the
I was going to
graphics?
say that, and amazingly, in one room tonight, on the DVD,
Here he is.
it is color therapy with kaleidoscopes that go along with the tracks, and Jay Petsko here, who's live, sorry, Jay, he did all of the graphics, but he also did all the photography as well.
For Flying Dreams as well.
Yes, he's a big part,
Wow.
integral part.
Very nice.
And he's also involved with Ayurvedic infusion teas as well. That
This kidnapped me to do all this stuff. I really don't participate.
he loves us.
Help me,
Okay.
please.
Many great things have been achieved by humanity under protest. It's okay.
SOS.
See?
Save our ship. And I also would like to bring up our show, as you know, has moved to the third Wednesday of every month. So next month, our show will be on August 23rd from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our guest will be Dr. Ramesh Sawhney, who is pain management specialist of Irving Place Surgery and Wellness Center in New York. And he will be sitting here speaking about addiction and the programs that he has using Vivitrol that I don't know all the particulars. That's why he's going to be here, that negates the effects of opiates. He provides counseling with a renowned therapist, Dr. Scott Benfeld. I hope I have that name right. He also does physical exercise in the form of yoga and does ketamine infusions for depression and provides behavioral therapy. So a complete program to help people with addiction and recovery. So he will be our special guest next month on Health and Wellness.
Sounds
And
wonderful.
he has some musical connections as well that I'm sure he'll love to talk about.
Yeah, he won't be able to help us.
But it sounds very informative, though. It sounds like people should tune in for that.
Yes, and
He actually knew George Harrison.
yeah, George
They were
Harrison.
friends. Yeah, so that's an
So
interesting.
he'll talk
musical
about that.
thing.
Maybe he'll sing a George Harrison song with you next
I will.
time.
There you go. Better practice up.
I will.
Gauntlet has been thrown.
I will.
So what is your favorite brand of cigar?
So here's what I'm going to tell you. As much as I like cigars, that's the one area of my life that I'm like, at the risk of saying something politically incorrect, I'm very white trash. I like the girly cigars that are usually like soaked in amaretto or something. So my firm, we have a locker at Ashes and Embers, and I'm in an entrepreneurial business think tank with 7 men. I travel all over the world with them, and whenever we go places, like we usually have a cigar on the beach or something, and they walk into the humidors and they know all this stuff. And I walk in, I'm like, give me something cute. So I would be lying if I pretended to be a cigar aficionado. I smoke 3 a year, but they're really fun when I do.
Well, that's not a harsh one, actually.
Okay, good. I'll
That
enjoy
is
it. It
it's-
actually looks like it looks like something I would smoke because it doesn't look really dark and really scary.
That is a Romeo and Juliet Reserve. It is not as harsh as the normal Romeo.
How much you pay for it, Danny?
I get them from JR's, so. But a cigar like that is between $4 and $5 a cigar.
All right, well, thank you.
But
I think Romeo and Juliet is so
Very
appropriate.
romantic.
Yes,
It is very appropriate for divorce.
that's what I'm
Do I need
saying.
do I need to cut the cigar in half
See?
to like split it?
That's
I'd
what
be
I'm
like,
saying.
like,
See that? I went down that road she did because that's what I see.
Very appropriate.
And do you have a preferred cocktail to go with that?
Captain and Coke with a double lime.
There you go.
I had that exact drink the other night. I stopped by my ex-brother-in-law's house. We went out back. We smoked a cigar.
Captain
I said, "What do you got for booze?" He says, "I got the Captain. You want to set sail? There you
But
go."
did you have
there we
double
go.
lime?
I do. I like lime.
Has to be double lime. It just gives it the, but not, again, 1 or 2. Everything in moderation.
Moderation.
Absolutely.
Moderation.
Here on the City of Angels.
Yeah.
No, look, it's true. Hey, Jesus drank wine. Didn't he do something at some wedding? Again, going back to the wedding. The wine at the wedding of Cana,
Right? See?
right.
But Gilbert Gottfried had the best remark.
which is?
In the Last Supper, how come they're all sitting on the same side of the table?
Now, with all of that, that's how we close
Wow,
the
how
show.
many people do you think we've angered today? I have to count.
That's why we're the number 1 rated show on this network.
Health and Wellness Hour.
Just threw that out there. I don't know if that's true. We might be the only show. Are we the only show? We still have the other shows.
I think we have 5 other shows.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Oh, good. So we have competition.
Yeah.
Thanks, Art, for making this possible.
And it all benefits COA.
You have no competition, man. You are just awesome at what you do.
Well, that's
Tells
because of
everybody
you.
that. He tells every show that.
Because you know what? Behind the scenes, Art is the hero of the show.
He is, he's great.
He makes sure everything runs smoothly. He's the person that helps
Doesn't
do the
always run
events,
smoothly, but we try to
websites,
give it that
everything.
appearance.
But it runs.
It runs, and we thank
Art
you for
makes it
that.
possible. for us to
Actually,
do.
Art, I keep trying to get Charlene to pop back up here. She's the whole reason why I'm here.
She should come visit. She lives right here in downtown Hightstown.
And she's not here.
Well, maybe on the next show, August
friend-
23rd.
She
Our
might be in
friend
South
Charlene,
Carolina.
yeah, she, no, I think she's home now. My friend Charlene is heavily involved with City of Angels, and when Rock On Radio needed a new home, she said, "I think I might have something," and we wound up starting this one instead, so.
Nice.
But you're still here, syndicated for
we
Rock
still-
On Radio
yeah.
every Tuesday night.
Absolutely.
So, all right, well, Terry, thank you so much for taking the time to
Been a joy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
come down and talk with us about law and Sticks and Stones. Again, what are your websites and where can we get it?
Sticks and Stones, Life Lessons from a Lawyer. Get it on Amazon. Go to my company webpage, www.lyons.com. You can Google me, Terry Lyons, Theresa Lyons. You'll find me. I'm out there.
There you go.
Thank you.
Very good friend of mine owns a Dragonfly.
Well, there you go. Downtown Somerville.
2 very good friends of mine.
All right.
And
Next
you've been
time
a
you're
great
in Somerville,
guest.
Come see me.
That might be soon.
Well, she's been a great guest, so we're going to have you back. You know that.
Okay.
Well, Mayor,
Why
another
do I
month
feel
has
like
come and
you
gone.
suddenly?
I know, hasn't it? Time flies when you're having fun.
When you're having rum. Having fun. Jay, thank you. Art, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank
Rich,
you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are we going to play his tune after we sign
We're
off?
going to end with Look Through Me.
Oh, thanks.
For what?
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. Not disconnected? What's going on?
No, look through me.
Okay.
Look through me.
I'm
You're
I'm just
disconnected.
a co-host. That's right. I know nothing.
We'll,
All right,
we'll be
everybody-
disconnected next month.
There you go. Everybody who's watching at home, thank you.
Thank
For
you.
those of you listening, thank you very much. Mayor, Terry, thank you. Rich, Jay.
Thank you,
welcome,
Danny.
Till next month, stay healthy and well. Woohoo!
See you. Bye-bye.
Guys.
Bye.
Look through me to my heart, please. Not to the things I've done, the clothes I wear, The situation that surrounds me, it's all the same to walk away. I never truly meet the hidden me. She smiles, tears fill her eyes, then drop into a wishing well. Dreams are made of these things that you cannot see, but they come to be when your heart is free to believe. A wise man turns back from a fool, a dancer takes her bow as roses fill the room. A painting finally finds its wall. This chapter comes to end as we lift a cup and wonder, was it worth it all? And so we turn again to who we are, from what we've been and where we go. Our hearts can only tell. Now all her tears have gone and dreams live on and on. Oh, oh, oh. Look through me from the inside out, not to things you think you see. Hold me close till you have